迎嚟到教會。
Welcome to church。
咁今日我同我嘅兄弟 Solomon， 我哋會一齊講道。
This morning, Chi and I are going to be preaching together. Chi's going to be preaching in Cantonese. I'm going to be preaching in English.
咁我會用粵語，佢會用英文，咁我哋所有人都可以聽到神嘅話語。咁嗰啲筆記咧已經 send 咗俾大家，嗰啲 sermon notes 已經 send 咗俾大家啦。如果你冇嘅話，唔緊要，聽一齊 enjoy 之後，我再 send 俾你。
So all the sermon notes have been sent out. If you don't have it, tap the person next to you so we can send them over to you. If you don't get them, that's okay. Just sit back and enjoy.
咁今日個話題，今日個 title 就係。
So today's title is
你想成為一個點樣嘅人
Who are you trying to be?
咁我哋而家去 Luke 15 verse 11喺路加福音15章11節。Simon, you can read it.
So Luke 15:11 says, Jesus continued, there was a man who had two sons.
咁喺呢度耶穌佢講一個比喻，咁佢介紹咗俾我哋有3個角色，就係個爸爸啦，同埋佢2個仔。
So Jesus tells a parable and introduces us to 3 nameless characters, a father and his 2 sons.
咁嗰2個仔，尤其是一陣間會反叛嗰個仔咧，咁其實我哋可以俾佢哋每一個階段一個名稱，一個花名。
So the 2 sons, especially the prodigal and rebellious son, could be given different names for the different stages of life that he went through.
咁今日當我哋聽呢個講道嘅時候，有可能你會對某一個階段有同感或者身同感受。
So we're going to go through a couple stages, but today, as we hear this sermon, perhaps you might relate to some of these stages.
咁今日我哋想介紹俾你4位先生。咁第一位就係太 cool 先生，我淨係想做一個好 cool 嘅人。
So today I'm going to introduce you to Mr.Cool. I just want to be cool in front of other people.
咁第2位就係我冇事先生，我唔需要人哋幫助我。
Mr.Fine, I don't need any help. Mr. or Mrs. Independent.
咁第3位就係理智先生，終於識諗嘢啦。
Mr.Sensible, I'm thinking.
咁最後嗰一位就係自我正義先生。
Or Mr.Self righteous.
咁 point number 1第一個要點，我哋今日
Point number 1, are you trying to be Mr.Cool?
第一個要點，我哋係咪想做太酷先生咧
Mr. Cool like this.
路加福音15章12至13 Luke 15 12 to 13。
The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided up his property between them. Not long after that, the youngest son got together all he had, set off for a different country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living.
咁喺呢個仔，佢乜都有，一個好愛佢嘅父親啦，好有錢嘅父親啦，基本上佢係唔使擔憂生活，但係對佢嚟講呢樣嘢唔足夠。
This son had it all. A rich, loving father, a great home, security, a life free of the worry of the future, but it wasn't enough.
佢想有自由同埋獨立嘅生活。
You know, he wanted freedom and independence.
佢受夠佢爸爸嘅管教指引，佢唔想再喺佢爸爸嘅指導下生活啦。
He had enough of being accountable to his father and wanted to get out from under his father's guidance and influence.
佢想反叛啦，佢想自己做自己嘅嘢，佢想成為酷先生。
He wanted to rebel, do it his own way, and be cool in his own right.
Come on.
佢唔想佢受到佢爸爸嘅基本上嘅批評啊，所以佢喺呢個時候，佢同佢父親講話：哦，你將我嗰份家產而家交俾我啊！但係其實我哋要記住咧，嗰陣時分家產咧，其實係要個父親過咗身之後先至俾嘅。
No more worrying about what his father thought or what he said. He wanted to go out and sin with no fear or judgment. So he asked his father for his inheritance before his father had actually died.
咁好啱啱我講喺嗰個時代係你父親過咗身之後，你先學到家產噶嘛，所以其實佢咁樣問咧係十分之唔尊重佢嘅父親嘅。
So in those days, you only receive an inheritance after your father passes away. So for him to actually do that was very, very disrespectful.
咁好奇妙就係佢嘅爸爸，即係代表神啦，仍然都係俾咗佢嘅。
So the amazing thing is, his father, who represents God right here, gave it to him.
因為神佢唔想一啲唔願意跟佢嘅人去跟佢，佢會讓你去犯罪啊，同一時間佢會讓你承受最自私嘅後果。
God does not want unwilling followers. He will allow you to throw yourself into sin so that you will see the consequences of that sin and the consequences of your selfishness.
咁簡單嚟講，佢個仔佢想喺呢個社會嘅世界度變成哇我好 cool 啊，但係佢之後喺佢爸爸眼中佢一啲都唔 cool，所以佢去咗一個好遠嘅地方先做呢啲事情。
So, in short, the son wanted to be cool in the eyes of the world and in his own eyes. He also knew that would not be cool in his father's eyes. So he went off to a distant land to do it.
在座各位有冇同呢個反叛嘅仔有同感啊？
Do you relate at all
咁
to
我
this son?
咁我想喺呢度同大家分享，以前我喺芝加哥喺美國喺 Chicago 做咧係做 marketing 嘅，即係市場嘅。
So for Chi, years ago, he was working in a manufacturing company as a marketing associate in Chicago.
一間好好嘅公司同埋福利係十分之好嘅。
It was a great company, great benefits.
咁做咗年幾之後，我喺度決定話，我想搬去悉尼澳洲，因為我想喺個牧師身上學識點樣開始教會，跟住然後去香港開一間教會去幫助人哋。
So he decided to move to Sydney to learn how to start a church from an evangelist and to start a church in Hong Kong to help people here.
喺我翻工最後一日，其中一個副總裁佢請我去食晏晝。
So on his last day of work, one of the vice presidents of the company asked to have lunch with him.
咁我就同佢唔係好熟嘅啫。咁我諗可能最後一日佢想be nice to me，對我好，即係有少少係咯，歡送我啫。
He thought maybe he just wanted to be nice to him since, it was his last day of work.
咁我哋坐喺個食堂嗰度啊，然後佢一開口就話阿 Chi， 即係我有另外一個名叫做阿新，我仰慕你同埋我尊重你。
So when they sat down in the cafeteria, the boss man said, Chi, I admire you and I respect you.
我聽到嘅時候我有啲震驚，我就話你做咩咁樣講？我心裏邊諗做咩咁樣講嘢啊？
So Chi's reaction, he was shocked because he did not understand why he would actually say that.
跟住我問佢，佢個名叫做 Tyler， 一個好高嘅白人嚟嘅。佢有一個好好嘅事業，有一個好，我同佢講話，你屋企人有老婆又靚，有兩個寶貝女，同埋個個人喺公司裏邊都尊重你，你做乜仰慕我啊？我新仔嚟嘅啫喎，呢度。
So Chi, being surprised as he was, he asked him, you have a very successful career, you have a beautiful family, and everyone respects you in the company. Why do you admire me, just that new kid in the company?
跟住佢同我講，你以為我真係好中意做呢份工咩？你以為我好中意飛嚟飛去，同一啲我唔中意嘅生意人由朝見到晚咩？
Then he said, do you really think I'm happy about doing this job? You really think that I fly around the country to meet with businesswomen and businessmen that I actually just don't even like?
跟住繼續話，我寧願喺屋企同我老婆同埋我兩個女一齊啊！
He continued, I'd rather just stay home with my family, with my kids, with my wife.
同埋我寧願喺我老家嗰間教會度侍奉下，對我嚟講更加有意義啊！比賺錢。
And to serve at my church, in my local community, which is more meaningful to me.
嗰一剎那，從佢口中講呢啲説話嘅時候，我知道神係同我講嘢。
Wow. Come on.
Well, that moment right there, Chi felt like God was speaking to him and telling him that his decision is right because his success and money won't give him true satisfaction.
由嗰個剎那，我聽到一個咁成功嘅人，佢話錢成功對佢唔會令到佢真正有滿足感。跟住我就知道錢同埋成功都唔會對我有滿足感，只有同神有一個 relationship 先會俾到我哋真正嘅滿足感。
So he started to realize from this point on that a relationship with God is the only thing that'll give you true satisfaction.
咁幾年前，我喺傳教喺芝加哥嘅時候，我同一位我哋教會嘅弟兄，佢叫做 Corey Blackwell， 跟住我哋喺人哋屋教大學傾偈。
Well, we think about our New York City church leader, Corey Blackwell, and she remembers meeting Corey in Chicago a few years ago, and they had a conversation.
咁因為佢年紀比我年長好多，咁我就坐喺度話聽佢，因為佢成熟啊嘛，同埋佢好謙虛，所以我想跟佢學嘢。
So it was great to really meet a guy like this who was mature and a humble man like Corey.
跟住我問佢 Corey 啊，你可唔可以話俾我知點解80年代嘅時候咧，你喺 NBA 裏邊打籃球，點解你放棄你籃球 NBA 裏邊嘅呢個生涯，去成為一個基督徒喺間教會裏邊侍奉啊？
So he asked him, Corey, tell me, why did you give up your NBA career to become a Christian and serve in the church?
跟住佢話：我80年代其實我幾出名嘅，我喺條街度行嘅時候咧，其實個個都認得我。
So he said, when I was popular in the 80s, and every time I walked down the street in Chicago, people would recognize me.
我有錢，我有名譽，我有地位，我有女人。
I had money, I had fame, I had women all around me.
但係有一日我瞓醒嘅時候，我問我自己點解我個心裏邊仲係咁空虛，仲係唔開心嘅？
But one day I woke up and I asked myself a question. Why do I feel so empty? Why am I not happy? Even though I have all these things that people want.
跟住當時佢有一個朋友邀請咗佢去我哋喺美國其中一間教會，佢入咗嚟，佢聽我啲歌，佢聽我啲分享，佢聽我講道，跟住佢嗰一刻明白，同神有一個關係先至係佢真係想要嘅。
Well, then a friend invited him out to church. He walked in, he heard these amazing songs, the testimonies of the people. Well, of course, he heard the sermon too.
Come on.
And he realized this is always what he's been searching for, what he wanted. A relationship with God that would truly satisfy him.
Come on.
之前喺 NBA 裏邊打籃球，成為一個基督徒愛神嘅傳道人。
Here you see an NBA player, a God lover, and a preacher.
呢個係一個好有力量嘅見證。
This is a powerful testimony.
咁喺下邊你會見到有幅相係阿 Corey 佢80年代咧嗰啲閃卡啊，佢嗰陣時係同 Seattle 係同西雅圖嗰邊打籃球嘅，大前鋒啊。So here's a picture of Corey when he was in the NBA。咁下一幅相就係之前幾個月前我同我太太 Demas 同埋 Corey 同埋佢太太我哋喺 Sydney Australia 一齊食早餐。
So here's a picture of them having breakfast together in Sydney, Australia. Okay, that's them.
喺呢個世界面前好 cool， 唔代表你喺神面前 cool， 同埋有可能你心裏邊其實係唔開心嘅。
You see, being cool in the eyes of yourself and of the world doesn't necessarily mean you're cool in the eyes of God.
Come on.
Also, you might not be happy deep down inside.
第二個要點，你係咪我冇事，我唔需要幫助先生或者小姐啊？
Point number 2. Are you trying to be a Mr.Fine?
我哋繼續喺路加福音15章14至16 ，Luke 15:14 to 16 Simon。
After he had spent everything, there was severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomachs with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything.
咁呢個寶貝仔佢 party 完之後，佢玩完之後啊，乜都冇晒咯，同埋佢喺 party 呢個過程裏邊咧，佢根本冇為未來打算。
The son was so confused with having a good time that he was just so consumed with just being happy in the moment that he gave no thought to his future.
然後困難嚟嘅時候，佢嗰啲新朋友 全部都走晒。
So hard times hit, and all his new friends deserted him.
咁咧，我睇得到，其實當一個人係自私嘅時候咧，佢會吸引一啲自私嘅人，因為你自私啊嘛，你想喺佢身上得到啲嘢啊嘛，咁佢哋都會喺你身上得到一啲嘢嘅。
You see, if you become selfish, you end up being around other selfish people who are only your friends if they can get something out of you.
佢呢個時候乜都冇啊，但係佢啲新朋友啊，點解冇人幫佢嘅？
It's interesting because out of all of his new friends, no one gave him anything.
有可能第一次佢成世人第一次啊，喺出邊要揾工做啊，因為同埋佢揾到嗰份工咧，基本上係猶太人最低微嘅工作，就係養豬。
Possibly for the first time in his life, he began to be in need. He had to get a job, and the only job he could get was to be a pig tender. Probably the absolute worst job for a Jew, as the Jews despised pigs.
神愛世人，佢愛到有時候會讓我哋去犯錯，等我哋被謙卑跪住翻去翻去佢身邊。
Come on.
But you know what? God loves people enough to humble them in order to bring them back to Him.
咁我哋喺呢度見到呢個反叛好酷嘅孩子啊，而家1蚊都冇，又肚餓，浸味好似啲豬咁。
So here we find the rebellious son, trying to be Mr.Cool, while being penniless, hungry, smelling like a pig.
當你俾神謙卑撳低嘅時候咧，其實好難扮酷啊，所以好多人都會話：我冇事，我冇事，我冇事。
You know, it's really difficult to try and look cool when you're being humbled by God, amen. So most people switch from trying to be Mr.Cool to Mr.Fine.
你周圍嘅人個人見到你都知道你唔係太掂，但係當佢哋問你點樣啊？因為你嘅驕傲，你會話我冇事，我冇事。
Everyone around you sees clearly that you're not fine. But when you're asked how you're doing, in your pride you just answer, anyways, I'm fine.
你可唔可以想像到咧？佢喺個豬籠裏邊做嘢嘅時候，佢嗰啲舊朋友啊經過喺度話：你唔係好有錢，每個 party 都係你舉辦嘅咩？你而家喺呢度做咩啊？跟住你可以見到呢個反叛嘅仔好驕傲啊嘛！兼職我幫朋友睇下啲豬啫嘛，幫朋友唔係我嘅。
Can you imagine the young man in the pig pen, and his old friends just walking past him as he's working in that pig pen, seeing him in the pig pen, and then asking, "Wow, I didn't expect you to be here. What are you doing here?"
Oh wow.
Only to hear him reply, "Oh, everything's okay. I'm fine." When they asked him how he was doing, I'm just looking after the pigs for a friend who will be back in just a couple minutes.
當我哋痛苦緊嘅時候咧，心裏邊有困難嘅時候咧，有時我哋都可以keep 住呢份驕傲嘅心。
We can be so proud in our pain sometimes.
最上一次你好坦誠咁樣問同身邊嘅人、愛你嘅人講話，我需要幫助嘅時候係幾時啊？
I have a question for you guys. When was the last time you admitted that you actually needed help?
咁呢度有一幅相咧，佢上面寫英文，我用中文翻譯。基本上佢話尋求幫助係一個有力量嘅象徵嘅表現，唔係一個懦弱嘅表現。
Here's a little picture of what she kind of put in the sermon if you haven't seen it. But what it says, asking for help is a sign of strength, not actually a sign of weakness.
咁我哋世界各地有好多教會啦，有11000位基督徒，同埋每一日都喺度成長緊嘅。
You know, it's interesting. We have churches all around the world, about 11,000 Christians or disciples, and it's growing.
咁同一時候，我哋都知道而家嘅婚姻嘅質素啊，同埋離婚率係十分之高嘅。So at the same time, we know that marriages nowadays have problems, and the divorce rate is very, very high. It doesn't matter where you are. 所以同埋有一樣嘢係大部分人都想揾到嘅。What's the one thing they want?
What's one thing that many people want.
就係揾到一個好好嘅伴侶，有一個好好嘅婚姻。
Come on.
You want to find a great spouse? You want to have a happy marriage?
咁喺我哋教會裏邊咧，我哋有兩樣嘢就係戀愛嘅輔導啊，同埋婚姻嘅輔導嘅。
So important.
What's incredible is in our church, you've got dating counseling,
Hey.
so the dating relationships are successful. Amen. Then you've also got marriage counseling, which is also, this is all stuff for free, guys.
Yep.
It's all available to everybody.
Come
Usually
on.
people have to pay heaps of money.
True.
要俾好多錢嘅平時，
True.
如果喺出邊嘅話，呢樣嘢可以讓到啲年輕人或者比較年長，單身嘅朋友都可以即係好去談戀愛，即係基本上係好健康咁去談戀愛，同埋一個好健康嘅婚姻。
Come on.
This allows young people to date properly, God's way, and to have healthy marriages.
但係喺呢個步驟開始之前咧，係你開始先，你要去尋求幫助。
But this all starts with your desire to seek help.
如果你唔想人哋幫你嘅話，冇人可以幫到你。
If you don't ask for help, ain't nobody gonna help you.
咁第一幅相就係 Solomon 同埋阿 Megan 佢太太結婚。
Yeah, I think about myself and Megan's wedding.
佢哋結咗婚之後，每一日都好開心。
We're happily married,
Oh,
love
yeah.
each other very, very much.
同埋靠住神嘅恩典，有一日佢哋兩個會喺 Australia 喺澳洲一齊帶領間教會，去幫助第二啲人有美好嘅婚姻。
And by the grace of God, I know that by the end of this year, we'll be going over to Australia to go lead a church over there as well. And help many people with their marriages over there too. So our example.
And I live with them, so I know how much they love each other. 我同佢哋一齊住嘅，我同我太太即係一間屋兩個夫妻，我知道佢哋好愛對方嘅。咁下一幅相就係我哋嘅弟兄姊妹 Leo 同埋 Evelyn， 佢哋而家喺台北帶領緊我哋嘅教會，同埋幫緊好多人。
And then we also have a picture on, Chi, if you want to show that. Mine doesn't come up.
He doesn't
We have a
know.
picture of Leo and Evelyn. And they're leading our church in Taipei, Taiwan. And they're helping many people too. What great examples.
咁下一張就係我哋嘅弟兄姊妹 Scarlett 同埋 Jenna， 佢哋喺新西蘭嘅奧克蘭嗰度帶領緊我哋嗰邊嘅教會。
Then I actually have my brother and sister-in-law, Scotty and Jenna. And they're leading our church in New Zealand, a city called Auckland.
咁最後嗰一張咧就係幾年前我同我太太求婚嘅時候嗰幅相。如果
Then we have an amazing picture of Chi and Themis, of Chi proposing to Themis.
It was romantic.
Really romantic.
Very, very.
If you don't have the picture， 如果你冇相嘅話，我而家喺你面前示範一次。I will show you right now。
Very romantic.
咁下一幅 picture， 下一幅相就係我哋婚禮嗰一日。
Then they also have a picture from their wedding day as well.
可能你需要尋求幫助，可能唔係感情上，但係喺生活上其中一個方向你需要幫助，但係你唔願意去尋求幫助。你要記得咧，你嘅改變咧，其實係可以啟發到身邊好多人都去尋求幫助、尋求改變嘅。
Perhaps you know you need help. In whatever area it could be. But are you unwilling to seek help? The thing is are you willing to want to seek help? Because when you get that help, it's going to inspire so many other people to change.
Come on.
To really change by your example in your life.
咁 point number 2第三個要點就係時候做理智先生或者小姐啊，就係我知我犯咗錯，我需要幫助，我需要幫助。
Point number 3. Time to be Mr.Sensible.
Come on.
I know I messed up and I really need help. Somebody help.
我哋繼續16至24 verse 16 to 24 Simon。
Awesome. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and I'm here starving to death?" I will sit out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of the hired servants. So he got up, he went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, he threw his arms around him and he kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and let's kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead, and he is alive again.
Wow.
He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate.
喺呢個仔，佢去到一個地步係冇人俾任何嘢佢食，跟住佢先至開始理智啲。佢要經歷一個被謙虛啊、被壓低嘅過程，佢先開始識諗嘢。
You see, the son needed to get to a point where no one gave him anything. Before he finally came to his senses. He went through a humbling process before he came to his senses.
咁今日在座嘅各位，你哋受夠你心裏邊嗰啲痛楚未啊？你哋受夠當一個人自私驕傲嘅個痛楚未啊？
If you're here today, have you had enough pain? Have you had enough of your pride? Or are you still going to wrestle through that and go through extra pain? Or are you willing to really humble yourself out?
你準備好喺神面前變成理智先生或者理智小姐尋求幫助未啊？
Are you ready to come to your senses?
咁喺呢度咧，我同大家分享就係我個人大約10年前發生嘅事啊。咁大約10年前咧，我就有一個被斷症啊，我有一個皮膚病叫做牛皮癬。
So I think about Chi's personal testimony right here. About 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with a skin condition named
psoriasis。
psoriasis.
Come on.
Can't say that.
咁基本上就好似濕疹咁，但係佢基本上係又爛皮啊，又爛肉，由頭到腳都係嘅，塊面都係添。
It was an itchy, really painful, rashes all over his body from his head to his toes. It was really painful.
To give you a better illustration, every single night when I take shower, when I look on the bottom, it's blood. 即係我每一日晚沖涼嘅時候咧，下邊啲水咧都係血紅色嘅。
Oh my gosh. Come on.
喺嗰陣時咁嘅樣十分之難睇，即係覺得好冇面啊。同埋同一時間嗰陣時，我有一個5年半嘅女朋友，佢飛咗我，佢同我分手。因為我嗰陣時好自私同埋好驕傲。
You can imagine it was a very embarrassing time for him. Around that time, his ex-girlfriend of 5.5 years also broke up with him because of how arrogant and selfish he was.
就好似喺呢個故事裏面個仔咁，我最後都開始識諗嘢啊，識理智啊。
Come on.
然後我喺屋企自己間房裏邊，我跪低，我話神啊，如果你存在嘅話，幫下我啊！真係好痛啊，好痛啊！
It's actually just like the son in this story. He got down on his knees and he prayed to God for help because it was too painful.
神充滿恩典咁樣回應咗我嘅禱告，但係2年後嘅事。點解2年啊？因為佢知道我仍然都有好多驕傲喺我心裏邊，佢想我痛多一陣。
God was gracious. He answered Chi's prayers. But 2 years later. Why 2 years? Because God still needed to humble his pride for a little bit longer.
2年後，我去咗我哋芝加哥呢間教會，同埋受咗洗。
2 years later, he joined the church in Chicago and was baptized.
And God changed my life， 神完全咁改變咗我嘅生命，
Come on.
向住正面嗰邊去。咁而家我同大家分享咗我嘅 story， 我嘅故事。
You see, Chi shared his story right here.
咁你嘅故事係點啊
But what's your story going to be?
？So there's a picture of my baptism。我受洗嗰一日咧，2015年1月4號，美國時間。或者喺我哋呢度，可能你已經受夠啲痛楚啊，你自己做嘢嘅方式啊，係時候翻去你天上嘅爸爸身邊啦。
For those of us that are here today, who have gone your own way, have you had enough of your pain?
Come on.
Have you had enough of your pride?
Come on.
It's time to come home.
好奇妙就係佢爸爸嘅反應。
You see, the amazing thing about this story is the father's response.
Come on.
好多人，我俾呢個經文好多人睇嘅時候，啲人都期待，哇！個阿爸肯定打佢個仔，又鬧佢。但係呢度佢冇鬧冇打，反而一見到嘅時候，好開心跑過去攬住佢。
So instead of rebuking it, the son and yelling at him, going, "You idiot! Why'd you go?" As soon as he saw him, he ran to him and he wrapped his arms around him.
Wow.
喺呢個故事裏邊，個爸爸佢係代表神，神喺度等緊你翻去佢身邊，佢等緊你理智嗰一刻。
You see, the father in this story represents God, full of joy and forgiveness, who is waiting for you to come to your senses by putting him first. As soon as you do, just like the father, he'll run to you.
咁當一個人悔改受洗嘅時候，我哋成間教會同埋天上嘅天使都會一齊喺度慶祝喜賀，就好似呢個爸爸咁，嗰一日有可能對佢嚟講係生命裏邊其中一日最開心嘅一日。
Wow, come on.
It's incredible because when people repent and get baptized, we celebrate with them. Just like the father in this story is to be. The happiest day of their life.
咁我哋而家去第四個點 ，point number 4， 自我正義先生。
Come on.
Point number 4, Mr. Self-righteous.
路加福音15:28-32 24 to 32 Simon。
The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went in and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, "Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me a young goat so I could go celebrate with my friends.
Oh, wow.
But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him?" "My son," the father said, "you're always with me. You have everything that I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found."
Wow.
咁當啲人喺間屋裏邊慶祝緊嘅時候，有一個比較悲傷嘅畫面就係個大哥啊，佢好嬲，佢話做咩個衰仔翻咗嚟之後你對佢咁好啊？我喺度為你做牛做馬，你都冇對我咁好。
The sad thing about this picture is that while the father, the prodigal son, and all the servants are celebrating all together, the older son, he got angry at his little brother because he was not treated as his sins deserve.
Wow.
佢為佢爸爸做嗰啲嘢，反而令到佢個心越嚟越硬。佢心裏邊開始有苦啊，有毒啊。佢可能見到身邊嘅人，包括佢個細佬，佢話。佢哋都冇我為我爸爸侍奉咁多，做咁多嘢，都冇我咁正義，或咁好。
You see, his hard work and his good deeds had hardened his heart. He'd become bitter. He had to work hard when so many around him were not working as hard or as righteous as him.
今日喺教會裏邊，當你見到一個弟兄或者姊妹喺度掙扎緊嘅時候，或者犯咗罪，或者離開咗神，你係點樣睇佢哋啊？係咪會覺得佢都可以犯罪咯？我做乜要咁持守神嘅道啊？我做乜我去犯罪啊？
How do you feel about those who are weak in the church? That are messed up or even fallen away from God? Have you become bitter? Or even tempted to go out and sin because of other people's failings?
你係咪做善事為神做善事做到攰啦，心攰啦，唔想做啦，想放棄啦？
Have you become weary in doing good and want to give up, or simply give in to sin?
係咪每一次見到人哋犯罪嘅時候，尤其是係基督徒犯罪嘅時候，你會喺度嬲神，話神啊，點解我向你祈禱咁多嘢，你都唔俾我？點解啊？我為你做咗咁多嘢。
Are we getting angry at God because We are not receiving what we actually think we deserve.
咁喺呢度我想表揚我太太 Demas， 因為佢咁多年嚟，過去9年嚟咧，佢常常充滿喜樂咁樣去侍奉神，不管啊別人點樣對佢，或者有冇人表揚佢都好，佢都常常喜樂去侍奉神。
I think someone who's a great example of this is Themis right over here. You know what? She's always joyful when she's serving God. No matter how people respond, or whether she gets the recognition she deserves, or she doesn't.
喺2017年，佢同我哋一齊過咗嚟香港嚟開始間教會。佢嗰陣時淨係可以揾到一份人工比較低嘅工作，但係佢開心。
2017, she came to Hong Kong to help start the church. She started working a really low-paying job, and a very demanding job at that. Yet, she was joyful.
佢啲屋企人唔同意佢做基督徒，同埋佢為神所做嘅嘢，但係佢唔會因為佢哋嘅反對，佢仍然繼續保持呢個喜樂。
Well, even some of her family members didn't agree with her Christian lifestyle. Yet, she was still joyful.
佢放棄咗佢一生同埋佢嘅事業嚟建立呢間教會。有啲人唔係太 respect， 唔係太認同，唔係太識欣賞，但係佢仍然都為主喜樂。
She sacrificed her life, sacrificed her whole career, being at home with family, to help build this church. And yet some people didn't appreciate it. And yet, she's still joyful.
你知唔知點解啊？因為佢愛神，佢中意同神一齊。
And you know why? It's really simple. She loves God. She just loves God. She just loves being with God. And that's all that matters to her. It's all that matters, not all this other stuff.
對佢嚟講，一個好好嘅事業或者一個好低微嘅工作，唔會影響到佢同神嘅關係。
Good career or a low-paying job. It doesn't affect the way that she loves God. How people respond to her evangelism doesn't destroy the fact that she still enjoys and loves God.
That's why I love her， 所以我咁中意佢。And there's a picture 就係this is on the day I proposed to her。有幅相就係我同佢求婚之後咧，戴咗戒指喺佢手嗰陣時影嘅。咁 in conclusion， 總括嚟講，今日嘅話題就係你今日想成為一個點樣嘅人。
So in conclusion, who are you trying to be today?
第一個要點，你係咪想成為太酷先生或者小姐？或者喺神眼中反叛啊同埋罪一啲都唔酷。
Are you trying to be point number 1? Mr.Cool. You're trying to be Mr.Cool. You know, there's nothing cool about rebellion and sin. Nothing cool about that.
第二個要點，你係咪想成為我冇事先生或者小姐，但係你心裏邊你好痛，但係你太驕傲去尋求幫助。
Well, point number 2, you're trying to be Mr.Fine. But really, you're just hurting inside. But in your pride, you just don't want to deal with the pain right now, so you do what you've always done and you just run away.
第4個要點，你係咪變咗自我正義先生啊？覺得哇人哋冇咗你咁好，所以你心裏面批評佢哋。
Point number 4, have you fallen into the trap of being Mr. Self-righteous? Inside there's bitterness and condemnation of other people.
咁我哋今日嘅祈禱咧，就係希望你會成為第3位先生，就係理智先生或者理智小姐。打開你嘅心，向邀請你嗰位朋友 schedule 一個時間，坐喺度睇下神嘅話語，睇下神佢點樣可以幫到你生活啊更加好，讓你嘅罪得赦免。因為神就好似裏邊嗰位爸爸咁喺度等緊你，佢想跑去你身邊。
Our prayer today is that you're going to be point number 3, Mr.Sensible. Be open. Set up a study and study the Bible with someone today, with the person that brought you out, and get your life sorted. Get your sins forgiven. Because God is waiting to run to you. You just need to run one step closer to God. God's going to run 1,000 steps towards you. Just got to go for it.
如果你覺得今日嘅講道啱聽，我係想歡迎你嚟到香港國際基督教會。
If you like this sermon, we want to welcome you to the Hong Kong International Christian Church.
所有榮耀歸於神。
And to God be all the glory.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.